public. That's so irritating to me.
All right, we are live. What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all?
Modern day masculine man, take one.
Ooh, what makes a modern day masculine man? When you drink your liquor straight, a modern day masculine man. I pay all the bills and I tells my woman the truth. Got my shit together, do what I wanna do, say what I wanna say. I won't bend, I won't break, you are not me, and I am not you. I kept it real, so now I can do what I wanna do. Modern masculine man. Welcome to Man School.
Welcome to the Modern Masculine Man Podcast, Mitch.
What up? How y'all doing tonight, family? Let's see that we always got to get the live test. Miss Caller, you look so wonderful in the light tonight. We're going to go zoom in on me a little bit so I feel zoomy. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But we're going to go ahead and see, can we get somebody to make sure the sound is good? Because we always got to say, do we got sound? So if anybody's watching, let's ask that good question. Do we got sound? While we waiting on somebody to say if we got sound or not, Miss Carla, I want to say whatever you did with the lighting in your spot is amazing. The lighting is shining, you glistening, you look like you got some oil on tonight. See, they said, I got my follow my dreams, and I wonder if you know what it means when your dreams come true.
Yes. You better know it.
Mr. Lease, can you hear us loud and clear? Are we coming in loud and clear on the outside end of the world?
Yeah, testing 1, 2, 3.
You sound good, Miss Carla. Now I realize we're gonna start doing this before the show. And realize I'm a producer too. I got to be a producer. I got to play a role. Of course. We're gonna let the beat build. Natasha Walker said the sound is great. Natasha Walker, we thank you for being our teacher's pet tonight. Coming and letting us know what's going on. What's up, Cartoon? I see Cartoon. Him. So shout out to my man. I watch my man just hustle from driving trucks to his clothing line to the
Hey, listen, there's a story behind Cartoon. He and I actually took his course. He's a brother from another mother with me. So he's family, man. He looked out. I had created a t-shirt line called Solo. And he was like so supportive of my work, man. So I'm always so intrigued that he sees me, because I was one of his #1 fans when he was doing his courses, and really went in and learned a lot from him. He's a genius.
Well, let me say this real quick while I got the brother on, because, you know, as black men, they think we don't give brothers our flowers and whatnot.
Right.
This is one thing I want to say, and I've seen this coming a long time. Before we get started, since we got the brother on, Hollywood is going to die. People sick of that. People sick of the demonic shit they doing. All this shit. You know, all of us, we about to be the new stars. People are going to start looking to regular people for celebrity, for advice. You know what I'm saying? People like me, like you, people like Cartoon. It's like people are sick of watching those people in Hollywood flaunt their money in front of us, act like they're rich, and then soon as shit don't go their way, come out crying. Can you boycott Netflix? They didn't pay me well. I've been broke. I'm living in my car. You know what I'm saying? And they got us
Right.
worshiping them, trying to be like them, and these motherfuckers out here
Right.
fake. So people like Cartoon and me and you and the online people, we're going to become the real people, and we ain't fucking had to drink no blood and do no gay
Nope.
shit to make it. And I said all that to say, I literally watched this man grind from when he first started doing his skits, and I would share them. And I'm gonna tell you what Facebook does. I think Facebook, when they see somebody on the grind and two people on the grind sharing each other, I think they kind of, because I don't even see him come on my timeline anymore. You know what I'm saying? I think once they see you start sharing somebody that's on to come up, and they see how we can kind of share each other, do what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? I think they kind of shadow ban you. But I said all that to say, you know, I appreciate the brother coming on and his course, and y'all holler at that man about his course. But we gonna get started, Miss Carla. You know how I like to do. What we talking about tonight?
Are you really ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for Freddie.
So, hi everybody. I'm your coach, Carla Nicole. And once again, we're going to get started on another topic that I think is important. Celibacy, abstinence. So sometimes once us ladies get into this trend of wanting to deep dive into celibacy, and I don't want no man touching me, and I'm gonna be good, and I'll just have some cats, and I don't want men around, and all of those things, I start to realizing that, okay, I get it. We all have a season. I understand that. However, we need to start understanding that once you are celibate and you decide to do this, what is your plan to come out of celibacy? What are you gaining by being celibate? What are you learning? Normally, I only support celibacy for spiritual reasons. Period. That's my only, personally, that's my only green light you're going to get from your coach over here.
So I
stop being sexual.
And I know this is going to seem a little whatever of me being a former English teacher, and I'm a wordsmith. Now, to me, both of them just mean not fucking. What's the difference between celibacy and abstinence?
Abstinence, I think, is more, if I'm not mistaken, I believe abstinence is like just for a shorter length of time. Celibacy is a lifestyle.
Oh, so abstinence means
like a time.
Fuck during Ramadan or something.
Right. Like a
celibacy
season, right.
is like, I ain't never.
This is my lifestyle. This is what I live by. Right.
But so let me ask you this, because this is where my mind, it's like, okay, if you're saying abstinence is for a period of time, a chosen, and celibacy is a lifestyle, well, do people really say I ain't never fucking again ever? And if they break on it, then they not celibate, or how does that work? Because it's like I could see myself saying, okay, Jay, I want to whatever spiritual blah blah blah. I ain't fucking for 2 months, 3 months. But do people really say I ain't never fucking again?
Some people will. It depends on their decision making. And sometimes it's coming from a space of really being asexual. So you don't have a sex drive anyway. So it's not hard to, it's not a drive. You don't have an actual sex drive or a sexual desire on a whim or often. So being non-sexual doesn't even affect you, because you're really just not that person that's really driven by sex.
So let me throw.
So there are some asexual people that just can be celibate and live the lifestyle and it not affect them.
And asexual, for the people that don't know, that means people that just don't give a fuck about no dick or no pussy. Like, it's like, I think that's how my grandma had got, but I would like to think that, but grandma might have been fucking at bingo and got us thinking that she asexual, but she just didn't want my motherfucking granddaddy no more. I know.
Well, it could be.
You know how old men, I don't know if it's because I was a little boy and my little dick as a little boy, but older men, when I was growing up, my uncles, them jokers had some hammers, and my granddaddy, you know, they be getting dressed. Them old men back in the day was hanging. And I remember my granddaddy going in there, and I heard my grandma say, don't come in here starving me with that big thing. It's like my grandma ain't want no more of that dick in her old age.
It's too
So I
much.
think she asexual, but she might have just
Yeah.
been fucking somebody with a smaller dick. Like, your granddad is starving me. The way she said it, don't come in here starving me with that big old thing. And I guess that meant stabbing. But
Yes, doing too much. Yeah.
I
And
want to get
again, and I
serious.
don't know if I mentioned this last time
Mhm.
for you, but women also need to know their width, like what they can stay, what is good for them, because
Yeah,
every woman is built differently. So
yeah,
some women, can take it, the endowed men,
yeah.
and some women struggle.
Okay,
So they're like, okay, this is too much. So us women, ladies need to know, well, what's our bandwidth?
yeah.
We need to know what we can take.
And your bandwidth and your band deep. But let me ask you something. So could my granddaddy have fucked my grandma into celibacy?
Yeah,
She said,
absolutely.
I don't want no more dick.
Absolutely. Yes. Women have gotten to the point where they're like, you know what? I've had enough. No more.
Well,
Because it's not comfortable. It's not enjoyable to women that it's too much. It's actually painful.
yeah. Well, since I'm joking when I said my granddaddy fucked my grandma into celibacy, I said that to say, let's get into the conversation. Trauma.
Okay.
Because I feel like
Oh
if
boy.
granddaddy
Here we
fucked
go.
grandma into celibacy, I
Yeah.
think whenever somebody say they gonna be celibate or abstinent, it's
Mhm.
like just me being honest. I think it's a result of trauma because I believe like we're gonna talk about purpose too, because I
Right.
want to get into that the purpose, like you said, the purpose of celibacy, the purpose of breaking it. But
Yes.
I want to talk about this, and let me give you my spiel real quick. I
Okay.
believe for someone who's a human whose sex is for creating life, is creative energy, literally to create people, to
Yes.
decide they don't want to have sex no more. I feel like it's got to be of trauma. I just got fucked over by a man. Like I never hear women say that until they just like I see they post and it's like vacation, me and my baby good, put a ring on it, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden it's the next day it's like one of those posts with a funny caption like, minding my business, staying to the side, finna go on a spiritual journal. I'm celibate. And it's like, so if you celibate because some man fucked you over, is that,
Yeah.
I always think it's a result of trauma. And then also, if you're celibate or abstinent playing
Right.
with pussy, does that count? Because I had a sister tell me that and I asked her why was she celibate or abstinent, and she was like this spiritual thing. I said, but you
Mhm.
just got dumped by your boyfriend. Is it that? And she was like, no, and it's spirits attached to. And I said, but you say you got a dildo that's the mold of some man's penis. You don't know who it is. That could have been a demon worshiper's dick. He got old big. Hey, we need all big dick demon worshippers coming. We want to get a mold of your dick, and you jabbing yourself, as Grandma says, stabbing yourself with a
Right.
mold of a man's penis. That seems animalistic to me. It seems like it'd be easier or more humane to just say, "Hey, look, I
Right.
got a little buddy I'm sleeping with when I need to." Of course, somebody with purpose. And
Right.
we're going to get into that. But what do you
Mhm.
think? Is celibacy? I mean, that's just me assuming. But how do you feel about that? Like, why would a grown adult just all of a sudden never want to have sex or not want to have sex outside of some traumatic happening to them?
That is definitely number one reason I believe as well. I think sexual trauma is one of the biggest problems with why, I should say, biggest incentives as to why someone would want to stop being sexual again. Now, just to piggyback on understanding, sex and rape, molestation, and sex are completely different scenarios. So
Yeah,
when we're speaking of it or to it, sex and intimacy is supposed to be enjoyable by not just the man. That is a myth. Everybody seems to think that the man is the only one that gets enjoyment out of sex. No, women and men are supposed to be enjoying intimacy and sex.
yeah,
However, Molestation is a power-driven act. Yes, it's sexual, but it is to overtake the power of an innocent.
Yeah.
So that is not, there's nothing good about that. So the child is being basically corrupt. So a lot of times, if you notice, if there's any type of homosexuality or lesbianism, and you ask them if they were traumatized young, most of the time, yes, it was. And it's usually by the same sex.
Yeah.
Not saying, now let me clear this up. I'm not saying all lesbianism and homosexuality comes
Of
from
course.
this.
Yeah. Of course.
I'm saying that normally, if it does happen, that is very difficult and treacherous and also very painful for the person and the victim that has endured that. And so they have a problem with that. And so they lost control of their body.
Yeah. So
Without that control, they feel like, just at wit's end. And the only power they can get back is to say, I'm not going to do that again, and shut it down.
or I'm gonna do it again.
Or I'm going to do it again. Yes.
And I mean, just being real, when I was young, I got molested by an older woman. I
Okay.
didn't look at it as molestation at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you 12 years old and your brother and stuff telling you about pussy and a grown woman, you think you done did something. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm thinking I'm cool at it, but I do realize it opened me up.
Right.
Where some people, their power is to withstand or withhold themselves, and then
Right.
some people's power is, I felt like at 12 years old, this lady walked me through what to do. She told me what to do, and I did what she told me. And the way she responded, I was like, shit, I'm gonna try this on somebody my age. You know what I'm saying? And I put the moves she told me to put on somebody my age, and it worked. And then I put the same moves on somebody older. And
Right.
to me, it was more like
Empowering
shit,
for you.
I done got
Your
something.
experience.
I know how to damn
Yeah.
make a woman feel a certain way. So you know what I'm saying?
So
So
you internalized it differently
yeah,
than a girl that has a man hemming and hawing and sexing her up, and she doesn't want it.
yeah.
And then let me explain to you what it feels like for a woman. It's
What?
very different when a man is pushing and piercing himself inside of an unwanted vagina.
Yeah,
She's like, no. So actually, the brain shuts down, and then the vagina closes up like this, and the man is pushing into her body.
yeah.
This is why it's a different, of
I
course,
definitely
it's different.
understand.
And now let me also say that's the same example of a young boy being inserted by a male
Yeah.
into the anus, trying to push into him. So this again is a very painful exchange. It's not pleasant. So that's why they oftentimes say they just don't want to do it again.
So that's one type of trauma, and I can understand somebody definitely.
Right.
But I'm talking about more of a, I got boyfriend, I got
girlfriend.
wrong. This relationship didn't go right. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
You know,
that happens also. Yes. So for me, I will put myself on Front Street. The last time when I got divorced from my son's dad, I did do a 6-month hiatus, and it was intentional, but it was also spiritual, but it was intentional. And I did it not because of the hurt and pain, but it was also because I wanted to come to terms with what am I supposed to be doing in my existence. So I stopped the distraction of men, because I can easily get distracted, handsomeness and good smelling and good. I'm all woman. See, so I was like, well, let me think of a way to try to hold this back. So I just was like, well, let me start getting in a passion for purpose. And so when I did that, I held back, trying to be in pursuit of men or whatever I usually am on. I just decided to just shut it down. So for me, it was a spiritual journey.
So I want to talk about spiritual journey, because a lot of people, I hate that fucking word. I'm gonna just be honest. I hate the word spirit, and I'm gonna tell you why real quick.
Okay.
as a person that studies the etymology of words, you know, spirit is come from a Latin word, it's spire, and it really means to breathe. And no matter how you look at this word breathe, you know,
Mhm.
biblically the Bible say God breathed in the man and he became a living soul. So what did he breathe
Right.
into? He blew breath, air into
Right.
him.
Yeah.
And think about this. What controls your breathing? Your respiratory system. So spirit is all about breathing. So when
Right.
we talk about accessing our spirit, meditation and breathing, and then
Absolutely.
biblically, they say your spirit leaves you and goes back to heaven, right?
Ascension. Ascension. Yeah.
So when you die, what
Hmm.
happens? You exhale your last breath, and
Yes.
that air goes back into the air, the
Yes.
heavens.
Right.
So so many things that proves that if you laying on the ground and
Hmm.
somebody think you dead, the first thing they do is check your pulse. If you're
Right.
not breathing, what do? They blow
Breathe into you.
air into you. Now, once
Absolutely.
they blow air into you, you
Hmm.
can come back alive. If they
Absolutely.
three things you need: air
Right.
and electricity. They blow air into you and shock you. Now, I said all that to say why I hate the word spirit, but I
Okay.
understand contextually what you mean. But I
Hmm.
need to get more deeper for me, meaning when women hear spiritual journey,
Hmm.
think abstinence,
Hmm.
what's the word we just said? Abstinence,
Celibacy.
celibacy. They
Hmm.
think higher level purpose,
Hmm.
and some women don't think that that's possible for them. So when we use the word spirit, it
Hmm.
makes it seem like it's too something for the average woman to attain. So I want you to practically, when you say spiritual journey, you broke
Hmm.
up with your husband and you
Yes.
went on the spiritual abstinence. What
Right.
does that mean outside of the spooky, deepy spiritual? Like practically, what was your mission? What were you seeking to do 6 months of not fucking? What did you think it was going to do for you?
Well, I thought this is what my journey was. I was trying to see what is the reason I'm here. Why was I born? So that was my agenda. My agenda wasn't to be 6 months abstinent. My agenda was to find out why was I put on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
What was the reason for my existence? Because for me, I was living a lot of my life before that happened. I was living a lot of my life in just being about pleasantries and fun and being a mom and being this and being a bride and being a wife and all those things and roles. But I wasn't really sure why I was here.
Okay.
So that was my whole spiritual journey was why am I here? What am I here to do? And what was the reason I was even born? What's the point? And then it's a whole nother
So can I hear what I heard and
sure.
interpret it for the
Yeah.
women who think the word spiritual journey and all this is too much for them? Because
Right.
you gotta realize a lot of people, certain words are scary. What I
Of
heard
course.
you
Yes.
just say was, this is what I heard you just say, and I'm gonna say it
Okay. All right.
what I heard. So I hope women can interpret it and think it's something that they can do.
Okay.
I heard a woman say, I'm not gonna let dick distract me while I try to move to another level. Dick been distracting me. I heard a woman, I just heard a woman say, you know, my whole life that dick been distracting me. And not saying that you ain't been on your job, but you get what I'm
Right.
saying. So when I
Absolutely.
hear this spiritual journey, what I just heard was me and my ex broke up, and I know the type of woman I am. If I go out here and get some rebound dick or get involved with another man, I ain't
Yeah.
gonna be into none but a
I'm gonna be right
love
back.
affair
I'm gonna
situation.
be right back trying to be a wife again. It was gonna be, I was
Okay.
gonna go right back. I was gonna go right back into being deep diving myself right back into what I knew, which I came from, which is to be a wife.
Now you notice when the other day when me and my wife was having this discussion, and we were
Mhm.
saying that a woman's whole it might have been me and her. This is why my mind get one of us. We were saying a woman's entire existence is to be somebody's wife. Is to be
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's
Yes.
like for you saying that, it's like
Mhm.
a woman is on this hamster wheel. I'm trying to be
Yes.
a wife. I'm trying to get wifed. I'm trying to be a wife. Oh, this relationship didn't work. Okay, next thing, I'm trying to be
Yep.
a wife. So I love how
Yeah.
you said that. I love
Yeah.
the vulnerability, and I love how you was just able to, because in my and some people think, like, I've had people say to me, you know, sometime women, because you know women love you and they on your side, and
Right,
you know,
right.
for the most part, I don't see where we agree on everything. We just can understand each other and move
Right,
forward when we
right,
disagree. So
right.
it's a situation where what I just said, some women are gonna say you devalued her. You know, you made it, what you said sounded a certain way, but I wanted to make it practical. Hey, uh,
Right.
Dick has been distracting me because my entire life I've wanted to be somebody's wife. So if I
Right.
didn't go on what I'm calling a spiritual abstinence or spiritual celibacy, I know I'm a beautiful woman. I was gonna go put on my fuck 'em dress, and I was gonna meet me a handsome, tall, good cologne smelling
Exactly.
motherfucker, and I was
Yes,
gonna be
sir.
in another love affair because you
Yes.
know how you treat me,
I
and
know how I am. Yes.
some man gonna fall for you. And that's the thing that a lot of women don't understand. A lot of women, and that's one thing I want to talk. I want to have a show with you one day, because I believe that you have and understand the keys to locking a man down. That's just some I believe you got, you know, and I know it's just some I can feel about you. It's some I can tell by the way you talk. So some women say they have problem getting dates. Some women
Yeah.
say that I can tell you're the type of woman that tomorrow, if you go out and saw a man that you liked at some way, some form of fashion, that man is going to include you into his life, in his rotation of, you know what I'm saying?
I'm
So
gonna get it. Yes.
yeah, so
I'm
I
gonna
can
get it.
see you saying, "Let me just chill the fuck out, because I'm gonna be a wife again soon."
I am.
Another fucked up relationship.
Yes, yes. And I think I told you my analogy. Like, I got out of the car of life. I told God, look, I'm not driving this car anymore. God, I'm just use me to
Yeah,
do my purpose, and I'm going to get in the passenger seat and I'm going to let you drive the car. So,
yeah,
and that's kind of how I did it as far as my spiritual journey was concerned. But I will say this, when I did come out of celibacy, I did have a plan, because
mm-hmm,
what I didn't want to do is get so in routine, because once you've been a wife and you've been on that journey, it's hard to divorce it.
mm-hmm,
It's hard to say, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to feel less than because I'm not a wife. I mean, if it, because I learned, it's like, well, the spirit told me, no, you're needed in a lot of men's lives. I mean, you may have to be a lot to different men. So
yeah,
you had to be a wife to understand what a wife is. That was
yeah,
your part. That was a part of your journey.
yeah.
And it was hard to understand, but I'm glad I got it.
You know, it's funny because a lot of men don't realize. My grandfather used to say, "Boy, don't make yourself a slave to your dick." And
Right.
now that I understand what he meant, like, you got some men who got 2 and 3 baby mamas. They got to buy a chicken for 3 houses, 3 loaves of bread, 3 jugs of milk, 3 cartons of eggs. So these men are slaves. They working like hell. They go to work every day. They get their check, child support come out. You know, these men are
Yeah.
slaves to their dick. And then in so many other ways, you can be a slave to your dick, as far as just waking up. You know, I ain't even gonna lie. You know, when I was young and I was in college, like I said, getting turned out early by an older woman, and
Mm-hmm.
then you know, my mother wasn't a very nurturing. She was a great mother. She was very stern, but she wasn't a nurturing mother. Like, my mother wasn't the type of mother that you could just run in her room and hop up on her bed. Hey, mom, I'm home from school. Give me a hug. You know, my mom would be like, get the hell out of my room, smelling like outside. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
uh, I know for a fact that well, however you want to call it, whatever that lady taught me, I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to test it. I wanted to see, could I blow a woman's mind? And I know when I was in college, I would get up every day looking to fuck something. Like,
Mm-hmm.
trying to holler at a new woman or if I
Right.
didn't holler at I would holler at women every day. But if
Yeah.
I didn't get a new woman that like me, I was gonna call somebody that I used to mess with. And I know maybe my whole freshman and sophomore year, and I'm not exaggerating. Most of the guys I know were like that. It's like we would go to football practice, after practice, we play the football game, a little NBA live, and then everybody start breaking off. It's like it's 4 guys, 4 homies chilling, and 4, somebody in the corner like, oh yeah. It's like at the end of the day, we go fuck. It's like, and I'm not trying to be funny, and
Right.
I'm just telling the truth, because we have to be honest. And I think one of the biggest reasons we have flaws in our community is our men aren't being honest about our sexual truths and who we are. You know what I'm saying? So
that's so important for us to know.
And I just remember at that age, it wasn't like a bad thing. I didn't feel like a slave. I just like, hey, at the end of the night, we gonna fuck something. You know what I'm saying? And you on a college campus. So but then when I got out of college and I felt myself still wanting to be like that, that's when I realized that's that slavery. That's that 2 and 3 women. You got 5 women in your Rolodex. Like men be like, that's my starting 5. You got 5 women in your Rolodex, and you talk to them in order of importance, and you fuck them every so often so you can keep them on the team.
Keep them on the team, yeah.
What happens is they start vying for position and worrying you. So your whole purpose of keeping them on the team actually becomes what? Gruesome, worrisome.
Yes, sir.
And let me tell you something. I don't care what no man say. Women, and see, like I told my wife today, she was cutting my hair, and she said, "I'm so glad you let me cut your hair every week." You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a wild man. I go.
You just let it go. You just let it go wild. Yeah. You can't do that when you're out here doing podcasts. You have to look well groomed. You got to look good. I would fuss.
Yeah. I would say something. And I would listen. And it's funny because in her saying that, I was telling her, people don't realize. It's like if you strong, people want to be strong. People don't understand what come with strength. Everybody asks you to help them move. If somebody get hurt, they hey big nigga, you ain't gonna jump in and do something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you're handsome, people think because you're handsome that you out here just like, yeah, I'm handsome every day. I'm just trying to show off my handsomeness. I'm trying to get a woman. I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? So what people don't realize is a lot of men don't realize and want certain things, and women want certain things. But I promise you, any man will tell you when a woman wants to see you and you can't see her, the guilt trip and the shit that she takes you through makes your heart beat. It makes your blood pressure go up, and it gives you panic attacks. I'm one to admit.
Well, at least you admit it.
I chill now. Men on the timeline, I need men to say yes, sir. YESSAH. When a woman wants to see you, and the guilt trip, it's not, Miss Carla. It's. I don't know if you'll be honest. If you've did it before, it's calling 1 minute. Hey, did you want to get something to eat? I'm cooking.
Right.
The next day, do you want to go shopping?
Right.
And it's the next day. Motherfucker, you ain't shit. I should have never fucked with you. 3 days later, I think I'm pregnant, motherfucker.
Right.
You give me a disease. It's and I promise you, multiple women I realized in my life as a man, it was gonna kill me. Like literally, Miss Carla, I'm honest with you, and I know
it's going to kill you.
No, I'm being long-winded, but what I'm saying is,
I believe it though.
It's a situation where I had a woman that I had my first panic attack. This woman gave me panic attacks. I still had them shits now. Like
Wow.
this woman was this. I'm gonna tell a quick story, okay? Because it's actually
This is
funny.
funny. This is funny. This is
You know
funny. I
this
already
gonna be
know.
funny. You
I
already know.
already know. I already know.
Y'all hold on for this shit, and I don't know why this shit
Wait a
irritated me
minute. Wait.
so
Let me
good.
get my seatbelt on. Wait a minute.
Okay,
Let me get my seatbelt on. Let me
so
buckle up.
I'm over
Let me
this
buckle
woman's
up.
house, and any man might can identify. I'm over this woman's house, and she's a beautiful woman, but she's a little bit older than me, and all she wants is a little time with me and me cook whatnot. So I would give her that. And one day I'm over there, and she listening at some old school music. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In her living room, and she say, "I sure would like to dance with you." And I'm like, okay, you want to slow dance? I can oblige that. Let's dance.
Right.
And I stand up. She said, no, I've dreamed of just getting butt naked and dancing with you in my living room under the sunlight. And I was like, why the fuck you want to do that? You know what I'm saying? It instantly pissed me off. And she was just like, just do this for me, Javon. You know, I put up with this, and can you just do this for me? I was like, no, I don't want to dance butt naked. And she kept asking me why. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, I'm a grower, not a shower. You know, I'm 6'6". And
Right.
when I'm not growing, I'm little. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I knew that I wasn't going to be able to be medium hard or anything. And she was going to get to see my little man on very small. And I didn't want to say, listen, I don't want to dance naked with you because shit is irritating and my meat going to go back up in my nuts. And I don't want you to see my little dick when I ain't hard. And she just kept asking me. And I didn't want to say it. And then finally, I started like, I don't want to do that shit. Yo, chill. And before I know it, it's like I'm breathing hard. It's like, you okay? And I don't know what's happening to me. So I'm like, I'm okay. Just leave me alone. So it go from wanting to dance with me naked to wanting to be my nurse. You want some water? Oh, okay, give me some water, bitch. I'm good. But now I'm breathing harder. Oh what's happening to me? This bitch that made me so mad. She like, she gave me some water. You want a cold rag? I don't want a fucking rag. Leave me alone. So she is working so hard to calm me down that it's me more and more panicky. Finally, I just get up and just go stand on the balcony.
To get some air.
And panicky, I took off all my goddamn clothes anyway on the fucking
That
balcony.
is so funny.
And I go back in the house before I know I'm standing in front of the bitch naked with the little ding-a-ling anyway. You know what I'm saying? And that shit gave me a panic attack. And every now and then I have a panic attack. And it's like, I never had them shits. So what I'm saying to the fellas is, I said all that to say, too many women and juggling women will drive your motherfucking ass crazy. And I'm a witness of it.
Hey,
So
you remember what I said?
You don't want them. Go ahead.
Remember what I said? You always remember I said you need to know your capacity. It is vitally important. You know, how many love affairs or care affairs can you have? How many lust affairs can you deal with? Because that capacity you need to know in your mind crystal clear. Because if you're not sure and you add on too much over your capacity, you will have panic attacks. It will kill you. If it doesn't kill you, it's going to kill the women because they're going to be all over the place. And they're going to cause a lot of havoc. Men love their peace. If a man can't have peace, he's going to find himself going nuts because he's going to feel, you know, just a lot of discontent.
So do this for me. We're talking about celibacy.
Right.
I want you to give women a practical example of having sex with a purpose, because to me, we're talking about celibacy with a purpose. What's your purpose for it? But I know most of the women that follow me and that I talk to, celibacy is like a motherfucking, it's that you might as well tell them go to the fucking moon. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when we say having sex with purpose, think being a nun, blah, 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 blah. Question first, before you do this.
Okay.
Do women need to have sex just for a physical release or for whatever? Like, because I think men ever so often a man need to bust a nut or he gonna kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Do women need to release? Like, I
Yes,
know we skeeting, but break that down for me
absolutely.
because
A woman does need to release. Actually, sex brings a lot of release in a woman's mind. It really helps her cardiovascular health. It's an exercise. It helps her emotionally. Sex is very healing for a woman, especially if she has a partner that really is her match, to where they can be in sync, they vibe, they care, they're good. They're not in here trying to be on performance, but be in a space where we can be in this space together and we can enjoy it. So absolutely, women do need sex, yes, or it wouldn't be.
so grandma said he backed up. That's why he's so mad. Hey, because I traditionally, as a man,
Hmm.
I don't know, whether this is true, but I know just if have been situations where if my wife was acting funny or a woman was acting funny, in my
Hmm.
mind, I said, you just need to be fucked. If you bend them over the stove and fuck them on at a drop of a dime, they be so goddamn happy. Is that
Hmm.
is that one of them situations where a woman just need to release and she feels
Absolutely,
shame to say it? So it's like
yes,
a cat being mean to you so you can fuck
absolutely,
her?
yes. Absolutely. If you haven't heard before, a lot of women need it as an attitude adjustment. Absolutely. So if she's catching a lot of attitudes or short with you or always making a little smart aleck, remarks
Yeah.
to you, like, what's this about? Like, all of a sudden you're just being nasty to me. Like, what's this about? That's why she's in need of you to touch her. She needs to feel like a woman. And men, when you make love to us, what we find is we start to learn how to find our beauty in ourselves, because you wanting to be in that space alone is giving us reassurance of our confidence in ourselves. So
Side note,
absolutely.
side note. So peep this. Why is it so hard for a woman? Because men want to feel wanted too. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? So when I have to say, bend your ass over for acting funny, I gorilla fucker, and I end up nutting quick, and she nut quick, and everybody happy. But I
Right.
want to, I be satisfied. But why is it that a woman would rather act mean or bad instead of just saying, baby, I just need you to fuck me and make love to me, make me feel pretty or whatever the fuck? Why? What is it with the goddamn acting, walk around with an attitude? Like, break that down. I know that's side note, but what do you think about
Well, normally the woman doesn't even realize she's being in that space. It comes upon you quick. You just have a real quick mood swing. And it's not even something it's a lead up. You just start to get an attitude about stupid stuff. And you're like, I'm just short, I'm driving and all of a sudden I'm irritated, or I'm irritated because my son didn't close the door all the way, or just something stupid. Like, this is off. There's no real reason behind it. So it usually just creeps up on a woman. She doesn't see it coming.
And you know
So
what? I can
that's really
see
the
that.
challenge.
The reason I say I can see that, you think about a menstrual cycle.
Mhm.
I always say a woman go through a crazy fit every month, because if you really think about it, your body goes from I want a man, I need a man to procreate.
Mhm.
And if you don't procreate, as that egg dies and fall out
Mhm.
to your cycle, you're going
Right.
from I want a man to get the fuck away from me. I don't
Right.
need nobody around me to the build up to, oh, it's getting to the time I want a motherfucker again. So it
Right.
seems like a literal crazy cycle. That's why I say a menstrual cycle has something to do with men. I think men made those words up. It's like a woman can go crazy in that time period.
Of
So
course.
it's like I remember my granddaddy telling me when I was a kid, we went over this lady house, and this little girl used to always mess with me and just not like me. And my granddaddy said, that little girl want to suck your dick, boy. And I'm 6, 7 years old and I ain't get it. But
Right.
I found out through life, when a woman literally don't like me, or as a school teacher, or certain things where you got
Mhm.
woman that act like she hates you or don't like you so much. I've
Right.
found that to risk it and have said, hey, you want to suck my dick, don't you? And they be like, yeah. So what is it about a woman? It's like, say, for example, back to the main question, when I said a woman's needing to release, right?
Yeah.
Like a
Yes.
man needing to release.
Right.
So how does a woman feel confident and not guilty about needing to release? How does she have sex with a purpose? If because she knows she need to release, but if she don't want to make her body count go up or just have useless sex, how
Mhm.
does give me a picture of how does that happen? Like you meet somebody, like how does sex with a, or could the purpose be just I need to release? Well, if you're gonna release, who do you choose? Because I
Well,
feel like women feel this stigma of if they fucking just to fuck or fucking
mhm,
somebody that ain't gonna be their man, like they a
mhm.
bad person or something. So I'm
Well,
trying to
it depends again, it depends on her season, her age, and where she's at in her life. But when you get to a certain point of understanding yourself, you learn how to build connections. And as we get older, I've noticed that when you just interact with certain men as a woman, you start to know the ones that have potential to make love with, the ones that are just going to be friends, and the ones that really are just people that are just good for sex.
yeah.
So you have those three options. You just need to know how to compartmentalize them. But a lot of times, if you have a drought and you don't have any opportunities, you got to go out and mingle. So you got to put yourself out there to where you are approachable. Most women don't realize the approachable part has to come from you being okay with who you are in your being, in your soul. And so how we decide is based upon attraction, um and then also we have to see, well, what kind of drama does he have in his life that's going to come over here, because I ain't got that to do. So if this man that I want to be kind of having a good time with, does he have a whole lot of drama going on? Because if that's the case, he's not going to fit.
So can
But
I
if
play
he's a guy,
devil's
if
advocate? I'm
pardon
sorry.
me,
Go ahead. Go
say that
ahead.
again.
I was gonna say I was gonna play devil's advocate, but finish your point. I'm sorry for
So
interrupting you.
no, you're good. So I was just saying, so if we can tell just by our connection with him what he's got going on, like if he's got a main or a couple of chicks, or he's just, he's just a free-for-all, then we know, well, his drama isn't going to bleed over here. Or
Mhm.
like, I'm not really trying to get serious or nothing, but how do you feel about just having some recreational fun? Are you good? And then we can roll that way. So it's pretty much just, it's really, I guess we should say, one-on-one basis on who's going to do what.
So let me play devil's advocate for a second, okay? I gotta
Mhm.
do this. I gotta do this because I know women and I know my fan base, and I just
Mhm.
know people in general.
Right.
What do you say to the woman that say you sound like you trying to put a nice dress on whoredom? Now, you understand what I mean? Because you said
Absolutely.
know your sexual, how many
Know your,
lovers you can
know your
have.
sexual truth.
So
Yes.
what do you say to a woman? I'm a woman who's giving you some pushback saying,
Right.
okay, I know that I need to release every month, but I don't
Mhm.
just need to release with anybody. And if he ain't my man trying to marry me, I don't need to be releasing with him. And I don't. What do you say to that woman? Or you know what I'm saying? Do you because there's some mental illness, sexual illness, like you said
Absolutely.
earlier. What do you
Absolutely.
say to that woman if I'm one of your clients and you really know I need some dick as a woman?
Yes.
How do
And
you
I have coached to this.
yeah,
And
and I'm giving you that pushback.
normally when a woman says, "Well, I don't want to do it because I don't want to have the bodies and all this other stuff," I'll say, "Well, let's go through and check your paradigm." Your paradigm meaning your belief system.
Yeah,
So, do you believe that the next man that you deal with or come in contact with is going to be your husband? Well, I don't know. It's like, well,
yeah,
of course, that's going to be your answer, because she won't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So, are you going to hinder yourself from experience of sex because of your belief system? Your beliefs is hindering you from having sexual enjoyment and connection. That's because of you. So now you have to go in and start doing some renovations and inventory on
And
what
my
you're
Lord
going
and
to do.
Savior Jesus Christ. My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ said I shouldn't do it. What do you say to me then?
Oh, Lord have mercy. I'll be like, you know what? And a lot of people, they'll
Hey,
get
I love
mighty
you
with me
so much.
because
You said, Lord
they're,
have
they're,
mercy. Ain't nothing I can say to a motherfucker said some shit like that. My
I'd be
Lord and
like, but
Savior.
I will tell them this. I will say, well, wasn't Jesus the one that had 3 women?
And
Did
that's
you read?
that ain't in my Bible. I ain't that. Look, Miss Paula,
Oh,
I ain't read no shit like
okay.
that.
Because
Now I'm a Bible.
I do think Mary was rubbing his feet, was she not? She was doing something.
Yeah, she rubbed his feet, but we ain't gonna we ain't gonna make Jesus get some. She
But
was there to giving us some head.
Jesus had some really good women in his corner to where he was not telling all women to be pure for him. Jesus isn't going to park the sky and come to your house and make love to you on the low when you're not having no partners. He's not coming over there. So if you do want to have a sexual connection, you're going to have to pick somebody outside of Jesus. He's not coming.
Hey, look, let me give you a little comedic segment right here. Just thinking about this shit because you finna get somebody to sit the hell talk about Jesus and bitches. You know what I'm saying? But now listen, Jesus
Oh my
kept
God.
whores around him. Now people don't realize why Jesus would keep a whore around him. Whores can make shit happen that 12 niggas can't. Jesus had 12 disciples, and I think she went out, but I'm gonna finish my story until she get back in. Jesus had 12 disciples, right? The disciples can go in town. Yo, we checking out. We want to know if y'all got food in here. Make sure the horse is straight. It's certain shit men can do. Certain shit disciples can do. It's
Mm-hmm.
certain shit. They said, Jesus, you're the Son of God. You're so holy. Why you walking around with this whore? Jesus say, hey, man, it's some shit a whore can do. You know what I'm saying? You go into town, they need some reefer. The whore go into town, hey, I got a couple niggas. It's certain shit that a woman can maneuver. And it's so many stories in the Bible where Rahab, different whores made shit
Okay.
happen for men of God. So, hey,
Right.
a whore is
So again, I'm not condoning someone to change their beliefs, but I am saying in order for you to have sexual freedom, and in order to get into your sexual truth, you're going to have to challenge some of your beliefs.
Okay, now let's take it a little bit further.
Okay.
What do you say to the woman who's not concerned about her beliefs, but she's just afraid? You know what I'm saying? She's afraid that she know in her mind, every guy that I give some pussy to, I try to turn this into a relationship. How do you get her to find purposeful sex?
She has to now look for her purpose. She has to do what I did because that was my problem.
Yeah.
So she's gonna have to.
Oh, you can't glaze over that right quick. You gotta give some people some insight because it's some women and men.
You gotta
Explain
get
what
out
you
of
mean your
one.
problem was.
Well, she has to get out of wanting to be focused merely on the sex piece and get back to why is she in existence?
Yeah.
Because see, what happens when you try to skip over knowing your purpose to getting back into the sex game, you're going to find yourself back into getting swooped up or whipped up, should I say, or having all these partners. And you're like, man, I should have just held back doing all this and figured out what am I here to do? Because once you know your purpose, sex comes in a different type of formation. It's not just about sexual release, but it's now if I'm making love to someone or we're sexual, we got something we're doing outside of this bedroom.
And
We're trying to build something.
I want to say to the people who watching, you're gonna hear this word purpose so much, but I really, 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 that's one of the reasons I like you. You know what I'm saying? This word purpose. But to the people who don't, there are some people who think purpose mean I'm finna save the world. There are some people that think purpose means I'm finna be this superhero. I'm finna be this straight lace, abstinent, spiritual super. Is there any way you can give me a hypothetical example
And what purpose is? Absolutely.
of a woman finding her purpose and meeting a man that she can have purposeful sex with, and
Uh-huh.
it not be like she is fucking finna be a school teacher or finna fucking go to Africa and dig wells? Like,
Right.
you kind of, because I want
Well,
women to, because I think because the reason I'm saying this, because when you say find your purpose to a lot of people,
mhm.
that's a big daunting thing that people are afraid of, the word
Right.
purpose, first of all.
Right.
And then some people think if I'm not finna be Martin Luther King, I don't have purpose. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So define,
I'm about to make it real
yeah,
simple.
do that for
Real simple. Because I'll tell you, it is very intimidating. Everything you're saying is a very intimidating word. Purpose is terrifying for someone that doesn't know anything about it or hasn't even brought their mind to think about it. Here's what I know for a fact is we all have and are born with gifts.
me. Mm-hmm.
All of us on the planet. We have a gift of some kind. We either have a gift to where we don't know we have it and we ignore it or shove it to the side like it doesn't matter, or we know we have it and we just haven't really made it to where we need to be yet, but we try to do and water it and take care of it and feed it and all those things. You will find your purpose when you tap into your gifts.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that, just as an example, I'll just throw me out there. When I first came to understanding my purpose, I first started doing poetry.
Mm-hmm.
Poetry was my first move.
Mm-hmm.
I just started writing. Oh, okay. And then I started typing in poems. Next thing I knew, I was creating this and creating that. Well, poetry is a part of me, but it isn't my purpose. But it was a step into my gifts so I could learn more about me.
Okay.
So
See, I
let
really
me tell you this. Your gifts are your pointers to your purpose. They may be your purpose, but not always. Sometimes they're your pointer to your purpose. I didn't know I was going to do coaching. I didn't know that that's where I get my biggest high, that I love to impart in people and help people transform their lives. But I first started doing poetry. That was the first thing. And then when I was like, "Ooh, I love it." Then I started going into different things and now I'm all over the place. But yeah,
So let me
that's
ask
how
you this.
you help
Okay.
to
I,
learn.
I'm going to give you an example of my life to show you that I understand you. And then I still got to play devil's advocate. Okay.
Let's go.
Based on what you just said, I am a wordsmith. Like my gift, I have charisma. I have
Mhm.
charisma. I'm charming. And people think charisma means smooth. No, charisma means the ability to make a motherfucker know what you saying. Martin Luther King had charisma to convince
Yeah.
men to let their wives and children march with him. And the white man's, you got to have a certain charm to do that, right?
Right.
So, my gifts, I'm a musician, I write songs, I'm a poet. And so being a
Mhm.
wordsmith, naturally my words would go lead me to my purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like
Absolutely.
you. I'm a master teacher. That's what I call myself.
Yes, sir.
People started calling me that first, so I just took it. But
Right.
so I'm saying all that to say I understand you, right? What
Right.
about the person that's at home saying, but I can't sing, I can't write poems? When they think gifts, they thinking artistic talent. What
Mhm.
about the person that can't sing, they can't draw?
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? What
Yeah.
are they? What are other gifts other
Other
than?
gifts can also be what you do for people. Some people have a big charitable heart. And what I mean by that is their mere presence will get anybody to do anything to be a better person.
Mm-hmm,
That is huge. People don't know, how does this person have such an essence about them that they'll come around and next thing you know, you're like, ooh, you're doing what? And they're just an example in what they do. Their actions are an example for other people to take on their lead.
mm-hmm.
So they're a leader by action.
Yeah.
You won't see it. They don't talk about it, but you see this woman out here. Every time I walk past, this woman is out here doing and giving and gifting people and going here and going there. And you're like, man, ma'am, every time I see you, you're doing something. Who are you for real?
What about
You
the
just love to
introvert?
help people.
I'm an introvert. I don't go anywhere. I don't like being around people because we have
Yes.
what
I have a son like that. My son is a stoic introvert, but my son loves vehicles. He loves cars. He wants to race. My son loves gaming, but my son is stoic. He is a very, socially introverted. You would not realize that he is my son.
Yeah.
You'd be like, as much as you like to talk, this young man like to say anything. Then I have my daughter that's a social butterfly. So I have two different children, polar opposites, but my son, I'm noticing he's creating music.
Mm-hmm.
I hear him upstairs yipping and yaying all night long on that game and doing this and doing that. He has his own little game group he does at school. I'm like, well, you have a little side to you, and then the lady that that does his locks, because he ended up going on a lock journey. She's like,
yeah,
Braylon, talk to me. I about fell over. I said, who? She said, your son. I said, my son talked to you? I thought, oh Lord, he's gonna start liking girls. But again, he's stoic.
Yeah, she touching that hair. It's something about when a person touch their head and you let a person come. That's why I let my wife cut my hair. I don't let no man cut my hair. The barbershop one day, and these niggas sagging their pants, and the nigga sagging his pants touched my arm. I say, man, get off my goddamn head. Got up out the chair. Man, I say, hey, man, y'all boys in here cutting hair. Back in the day, a barber used to have on a nice white vest. Y'all niggas in here sagging your pants, selling reefer, doing it. Man, get the fuck out of here. As I got older, I said, man, I don't want no motherfucking man touching on my.
I didn't even know, Javon, I didn't even know my son was going to do the lock journey. He's so stoic, and he's very fair skinned. So he's light. He looks biracial. But he's very fair. He's lighter than me and his dad. So I thought, where are you getting this lock journey from? Well, he ended up getting it going into his locks. He loves cars. He loves his games. But I don't try to change him. I just know he's stoic. But he knows, hey, Mom, I'm writing music. It's like, okay, that's different. But I tell him all the time, tap into your gifts, son. Tap into your gifts, son. I always tell him, tap into your gifts. Because for me, I don't want to be the parent that tells him what to do. But if you tap into your gift is going to point you to why you're here.
That's so dope. Another question. Because as a man, I'm just assuming women are so worried about sex and don't want to release and got so many scruples. Yes. Is that true, or is that just what society forces women to have to act like because they all trying to land a husband? Like, because it just seems like, how can I say this? And how can I say this? Just looking around, and I don't know the statistics, but it seemed like the women that have, had a little life and lived, seem like they get married before the women that it just seemed like men kind of marry women that have kind of been out there a little bit. I don't know how to explain. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you guys want to be sexually gratified. Yeah. So if you are going to be married, you definitely want a partner or a wife that's going to be able to put it down in the bedroom. So I think it's good that a woman,
like hoes is winning. I'm just gonna say it like that. Hoes is getting married. And what that nigga say? Stop playing with me, dog. Y'all know hoes winning. Get the fuck out of here.
But you know why? Because men want to be. If we're honest, you just said it earlier, men want to be wanted.
Yeah.
And a hoe or a woman that's sexually prowess, she's gonna tell you she wants it and how she wants it. It's not a secret for her.
Boy, them hoes treat you so good. Boy, them hoes is fry them chicken tenders or that pork chop up for you. Boy, them hoes treat you so damn good, man.
Yeah.
Some
Absolutely.
women have a sexual prowess, and these women, it's funny because in ancient Greece they got these words, an incubus and a succubus. A succubus is a woman. They said it's a woman that got a spirit that just know how to motherfucking fuck a man over. Like who was what? Jezebel. Like, people don't realize Jezebel was a whore, but she married King Ahab. She became the queen of fucking Israel. This
Right.
woman was a whore, and it's
Right.
like she had such sexual prowess. It's like, it's an old saying. They used to say you can't turn a whore into a housewife. Now, back in the day when the saying originated, they meant a real whore, a real pussy selling prostitute. But in our day and era, it seemed like a woman that's, I guess was to say, I joke, I said Suge Avery. Like, I like Suge Avery women. Now, I don't like a woman that's got that everybody know that's the fucking town whore. That's one thing.
Right.
But talking to a woman, I mean, just being real, Miss Carla, I respect you so much. But talking to you up here, I can tell you didn't have your share of meat. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You didn't have your share of meat.
There's nothing holding that back. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I call it my playgirl years, that it was really important for me to have that.
And I love how you call whoring playgirl, and it's so beautiful how you say my playgirl years. You're so elegant. During my playgirl years, when I was whoring in 1977, I was whoring then.
I was having, listen, I had so much fun. Oh my goodness. But to be all the way honest, when you understand that, you realize that that's a part of you that had to happen. I had to go through that cycle because I had been with, I told you, my ex that was a DL brother, and he would tear me down on so many levels. Like, you're not pretty enough, you don't have this, you don't have that.
Hey, look,
and I
he
thought,
would be mad. He got to hit the pussy. You want some big? Like, get your fat ass out of here! God damn it, you need to lose some weight. He ain't want that pussy.
No, he didn't want it at all. And I'm thinking,
I'm not trying to be funny. Real quick,
this is hilarious. I thought that it was because of something insufficient in me. So I had to go through this whole process of relearning and reigniting my own personal fire. And in doing that, I had to let go and relieve myself of all the insecurities. So the playgirl years was essential for me to get back to my confidence. And matter of fact, my daughter, she's beautiful. She's 26 now.
I know your daughter's bad than a motherfucker. I know she's bad as hell. God.
My daughter is beautiful, let me tell you. She is doing her little YouTube now. I'm sorry, her little TikToks and stuff now. She's coming out of her little.
I'm about to go follow your daughter.
She is beautiful. I'm just warning you. But she said to me, Mom, I can't believe you. I said, what? She said, you were having all that fun and I didn't see nothing. I said, no, it wasn't for you to see.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. And
I wouldn't let her see that, Javon, because as a mother, it was my job to make sure her images she saw was, that's not acceptable. No matter what I was doing, I was having a good time, but she didn't need to see that. She's like, really, Mom?
You be like, girl, I was fucking. I know you didn't think it, but I was fucking. But let me say this real quick, so women can understand this, and men alike, because men say shit and women say shit. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. They say, and that's not getting into any specifics or any numbers. But when we talk about body count and promiscuity, and we talk about playgirl years, you know what I'm saying? I don't want people to think that means this lady was just out fucking like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Now I was fucking like a motherfucker during my Playboy years when I was at North Carolina Central University. I was frequently engaged in promiscuity. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the point I'm making is, how can I say this? Like, we know ladies from fucking 20 to 30. And we can go back to 15. You know, God designed us to be the goddamn horniest years of your life. You fucking. You fucking.
Yeah.
You fucking. And it's almost unreal for a man to meet a woman that's 30, 35 and think that she ain't been with at least 5 to 6, 7 men. It's
Right.
almost like, do you want a woman like that? She don't know how to squeeze the dick and suck it. Like, what are you doing? Like, hey, bitch, your teeth hitting it. How many dicks have you sucked? Are you fooling
They
me?
can be
You
choked.
know, yeah.
Oh my
First night she be all teeth. You be like, you good. And then you go over there and fuck her 3 days later and she be like, you be like, what the fuck are you doing? What happened? Did you fool me? Why did you hold that
God.
back? So
Yeah,
it's,
she didn't want to tell. She didn't want to tell you the truth.
yeah, it's the first thing like, oh, I'm doing, is this right? Is this right? Like, hey, stop it. Then the next
You're
time
like, oh, this is not. This is miserable.
you be like, oh, okay. Oh, so you held back on me. So you really a monster. You tried to make me think you was a baby.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
She didn't
So
want to show nothing. Right. She didn't want to show you something.
I just feel like there's a certain if men and women could be honest, first of all, the men have to be honest. But I can see how with society and a woman wanting to be claimed and wifed, she cannot be so open about her sexuality, because even in your openness and even with your classy style and we playing for some reason I'm like, we're gonna have to talk about this. You sitting here telling me I was playgirl and I was hoeing, but for some reason I think you won't fucking as much because of how you carry yourself. And I think, can you speak on that? Because as I'm sitting here, you said my playgirl years, I was fucking and my child ain't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So, but the way you carry yourself, in my mind, I'm trying to sit here and figure out ways for you to be like, well, Miss Carla, she probably had a couple of boyfriends in college. She's been married twice. Miss Carla won't fucking like that. It's like it's like men will create an image of innocence for women in our head that we believe match a certain what's the word? Just how the fuck you carry yourself, your image.
Right.
Women don't realize, as you sit here and tell me this, a beautiful lady with no makeup sitting here laughing, as eloquent as you are,
right?
I'm looking at your image. I'm trying to imagine you as not. I'm figuring out ways for you to not have been boring as much. Because I give you a perfect example. My wife, right?
Right.
My wife, and sometimes I tell my wife, and it's funny, you and her are very alike, because sometimes I tell her, I say, you misrepresent yourself in your honesty, but that's just me. Like, say, for example, my wife said she had sex first time when she was 12 years old, right? Okay. That's the first time she lost her virginity. Right. But then, you know, just a regular youth, whatever. My wife, children's father they was together 9, 10 years. So she like, amongst my people, I've always had a boyfriend. I wasn't the one that was out here fucking everything. I you know, I was in a committed relationship. She went from that committed relationship to marriage in me. So you know what I'm saying? In my mind, my wife is yeah. But in my mind, you know what I'm saying? I was looking at her like more like, yeah, you probably was fucking a lot, but you know, she just had. I can't just sit here because nobody would believe it. But the point I'm making is my wife ain't been fucking like I thought she was. And whereas on the flip side, when you, how can I say this? When you look at you, I'm thinking you fucking less because how you carry yourself. But when I first met my wife, she didn't carry herself like you carry it. But now my wife carries herself like that. And you know what I'm saying? She always be joking. She be like, don't no man want to holler at me. Cause you know, cause the way she carries herself, it makes men that just want some pussy be like, nah, she ain't about that. Like if I was to see you on the street, I wouldn't just assume. Now, don't get me now. This is a difference.
And they don't.
I
I
wouldn't
don't get those
assume that I
approaches.
can just walk up on you with some, yo, let's have a drink. I don't
Right,
think I could just fuck you
right,
on some quick shit. And that
no,
don't mean that you wouldn't, but the way
right,
you carry it, my imagination won't let me approach you like that. And,
right.
and people don't approach my wife like that. You know what I'm saying? Because
No,
of how
and they
she
won't.
carry
They
herself.
won't. And
So
they won't. Yeah.
I definitely want you to cook some up and figure out. I want to have a show about that soon.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a show about depression. I think it's fake. I want to have a lot of discussions with you. You know what I'm
You
saying?
think
In real
depression
life.
is fake?
Yeah,
I
I think
will
it's
tell.
fake.
I got an analogy on depression, but yeah, I get
Yeah,
what
we're
you're
gonna talk about it. But
saying. Hmm.
I gotta get ready to get up out of here. But
Right.
yeah, like I said, it's crazy. I'm sitting here like, yeah, she was married twice and da 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 da. Da.
Hmm.
I'm creating images in my head, and this woman could have been an all-out monster out here, fucking like hell. You know what I'm saying? But
Well, I was having a good time, and let me tell you, when I was doing my party time and having the playgirl years and all that, I really was having a good time. But I had it so under wraps and so set up that nobody knew. But my best friend at the time, she was like, listen, go have a good time, get it out your system. And I got the baby because she and Morgan were like this. And so she covered Morgan on all fronts. Like, don't have to worry about her. Just go and have fun. And
mhm.
I think she knew that at that time, I was so, it was so just a brokenness inside from all the drama that she just understood, well, this is just a season. And that's how I treated it. It was just a season.
Yeah, and
But
like, go ahead.
without it, I do realize that there's a confidence, a sexual confidence and prowess that men draw to because they're like, well, she don't say much.
Yeah, yeah.
She don't say a lot. It's like, no, it's nothing to talk about.
And like you said, when it's all said and done, while you having your playgirl time, having
Mm-hmm.
fun, you were mentally driving yourself crazy because every situation you was
Right.
trying to make him your man. You know what I'm
Husband,
saying?
husband.
Yeah,
I was
husband. Yeah,
in search of, and even in those years, I was trying to, and it was 7 years.
yeah.
It was a long span of time, but
Putting
I
that
was
piss
trying
on a
to.
motherfucker trying to make him marry. What that girl said, I'ma put it on to make him marry me. I'ma
Yeah.
put him on to make him marry me. That
It was
shit was
ridiculous.
terrible.
Yes. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, and then I was like, okay, this isn't good. But yeah, 7 years.
Now let me say this before we get out of here.
Okay.
I can imagine how that can drive somebody crazy because it's one thing to just fuck somebody to hope they marry him. But with you, I could tell you fuck, cook, rub feet, rub back,
Take care of them.
send gifts. Like, so that's got to be even more stressful after you fuck, suck, rub feet, do all this shit where you like, I know this should land this motherfucker. And he's still like, bitch, shit, you out your motherfucking mind. You number 3, ho.
Right. It's so funny. You know, it is hilarious because what you're saying is so true. I do spoil it.
Yeah.
And, my daughter says it all the time. Like, Mom, you
Yeah, that's
spoil.
gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt to know you spoiling a man and you know I'm handling all bases and this motherfucker still don't want me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's why it came in handy for me to divorce wanting to be married. See how
Yeah.
that works? So
Yeah,
now
I see.
I can be in my nurturing self and I can give 110% of that side of me without having my little agenda over here. Like, okay, so we've been doing it this many times and this is how long and this is how his eyes was rolling back. So now I think probably by this time he's going to want to settle it down and all that stuff. I don't even have any of that.
We're gonna have to clip that. Listen, we're gonna have a show about that. The female agenda.
Yeah, because I
That
wanted to get it.
motherfucker is a
I wanted to,
diabolical plan.
yes, because I
Ooh.
wanted to make sure if I can have him here, because I knew if I did this, then I would have him to this level. And then, okay, so now he's going to want to get engaged. And I was ridiculous.
I'm
Ridiculous.
so glad you're so honest because it's women doing that every day. and
it's tiresome. It's a lot of work.
It's
a lot of work, Yvonne. I'm telling you, it's a lot of work because we want to have that husband stuff so bad we can taste it. It's ridiculous.
It's like I can imagine. It was a dude that was a teacher at my job, and this teacher, he was in the friend zone. He was in the friend zone for this lady, right. And I was blowing her fucking back out. And it used to be times where it would be situations where, you know, she would and not being funny, but she would like DoorDash and all that shit won't out at the time, but it would be a situation where she'd be like, you know, come by such and such. I'm gonna have him bring me some wings from Outback, and he would just do so much, and I would see him at work, and he ain't know, and I just wanted so bad to say, hey man, stop it, man, stop it, bro, stop it, bro.
She had him on an assignment.
Oh man, when I said the diabolicalness, I stopped fucking her because I was like, anyway, the way you do this, man, ain't no way you can care about me. You, because I was just like, wow, like the way you. And when I said a diabolical plan of a woman,
because it's different assignments. So you have a sex assignment. You have someone on assignment to do repairs in the house. You have someone on assignment to be like your social butterfly. Like he's someone who'll come by and just spend time with you and talk to you and make you feel important. Then you got one that will be like the dude that's going to maintain like your lawn care. Then you got someone that takes you out on dates and takes you on trips.
You talking about a man, goddamn playgirl, ain't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have them on male assignments, so we have assignments for everything.
I know,
yeah,
and I'm so glad that you telling the truth. And the women that don't tell the truth, that say, "Oh, I'm not seeing anybody," men don't take them serious. I'm so glad you telling the truth. I'm so glad you telling the
sharp
truth
about that because he was laying up. He said he was asleep, and the man was like, "She always lying."
Yeah, I'm so glad you're telling the truth. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, you just need to be honest. The woman needs to be honest also.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, family, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all stay tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Me and Miss Carla gonna see y'all next week. Y'all hold it down. Peace.
Peace, guys.